War is hell. And this week, NBC reported just how brutal it can be for teenage boys captured by the terror network ISIS.
They said if I went with them, gave up my weapon, that I would be unharmed, he says.
For those willing to fight, ISIS sends them to indoctrination camps that are filmed for propaganda purposes. And if boys choose to run, the terrorists are chopping off one hand and one foot. Unfortunately, the horrific act of disfiguring boys is another reminder that life in the Middle East under ISIS is hell for non-believers, and children often pay the hefty price for war.
It's tough to watch. Well, Kimberly Dvorak is here to discuss the latest act of ISIS brutality. And in the past, we've discussed just the horrific acts against girls, and now we're seeing what they're doing to these young boys.
Yeah, it's been a little less documented what they're actually doing to these young boys. They're giving them an option, oftentimes, of either going through the indoctrination camps where the young boys are saying they're told that they either can be fighters on the front lines or be suicide bombers. And if they choose to run, as this one young man did, they are chopping off their one foot and their right hand, which of course in the Middle East, the right hand is the hand you use. It's the clean hand because you use this to eat.
Right.
They don't use utensils, so that's a very significant point here. And what they're doing is, they're again using the indoctrination of fear to make sure these child soldiers are, following the ways that they're on.
Are there any numbers out there right now and how many boys are being targeted?
It's so little documentation on this aspect of the war that they really just don't know, because the parents of the followers obviously have no problem putting their children there, yet the people that they capture are from the rebels or from the non-believers, and they're all getting swept up and thrown into this, and we're told it's in the thousands, but there is no hard numbers on it.
And I'm sure those children and their parents don't want to come forward because they don't want to be targeted further.
Again, further targeted. And then, it's, also to point out, I just kind of wanted to wrap up today that, there are a lot of groups out there that are trying to help these children and these minors get out of the situation. But as we do in a lot of very terrible crises, we have to make sure that we're giving our money to the right people, and the right people are actually you got to do your homework to make sure it's going to the right places, because there are scam artists out there.
Kimberly Dvorak, thank you for joining us this morning. To read more from